Hi, my name is Maisha Williamson. I'm the founder of STEM Girl Social Network. So what we're having tonight is coding and cocktails. I'm setting up and waiting for the ladies to come. So we're going to do all about HTML, the girl's guide to HTML. The reason why I started coding and cocktails is because I wanted to have like a fun, relaxed environment where women could be introduced to HTML. We're surrounded by all women, we have some cocktails, have a little fun, and learn about web development in a non-intimidating environment. I was really interested in the class because it said a girls' night in with cocktails and coding, and it wasn't intimidating that the fact that the class was women only.
I found out about this on someone posted it on Slack.org.
Oh, really?
And yeah,
Where do you work?
Braintree
Oh, okay.
in the merchant part. So I'm a operations project manager. So I deal with a lot of product people, but I don't know a lot about product. So
Okay, awesome.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Diana. I'm a project manager who just moved to the city, so thank you. I found out about the event through Natalie. And yeah, I've taken a couple boot camps, just really interested in just technology in general, so yeah. Love to learn more.
Welcome, welcome. Welcome, my name is Maisha. If you want to introduce yourself, we went around and introduced ourselves and like how you found out about the class and like why did you want to learn HTML?
My name is Megan Barr. I apologize for being late. I've been on buses for the last hour to find this place. What else am I supposed to? How I came about?
Yeah.
I took a training program at National Able,
Okay.
and so one of the account managers mentioned it. So
Oh, really? Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. But like, the boys won't really interact with her. Like, she can't really speak up. She doesn't really feel comfortable, and she just wants to go to Girl Scouts because like that's what her friends are doing. So I want to create an organization where girls can feel safe, meet up, you know, feel affirmed, and learn from other women. So I really wanted to, you know, provide activities like that. So the women, older women, started asking me for programming as well. So I started coding in cocktails. That was kind of cute. So get an introduction to HTML. I hear a lot of women say like, I wanted to be a coder, but I thought it would be too hard, so I didn't do it. And I just wanted to see that, you know, it's not as bad as you think it is. I mean, it's not easy, but it's not as bad as, you know, HTML is a good way to like get your feet wet. iPhone apps, so learning how to program for an iPhone is different than learning how to program for an Android. Learning how to program for your computer app is different. So there's like a lot of different terms, but all of that encompasses web development. So HTML, CSS kind of leads into JavaScript for web-based apps. So this is like the first step in building web-based apps. So HTML, anyone know what HTML stands for without looking at it? I do. Okay, all right. So hypertext markup language. It's like a language describing web pages and using ordinary text. So this allows for website creation. Anybody have like Zanga back in the day, or like, so you used to be able to use like HTML to like change your, or like Black Planet, like you could change the page. Okay, so HTML tags. This is things we need to know. HTML tags are the hidden keywords within a web page that define how the browser must format and display the content. So most tags have two parts, an opening and a closing part, okay? So, this HTML right here is the opening tag. This is the closing tag. What's the difference between the opening and the closing tag? Right. So basically, that's all you need to know about HTML. No, I'm just playing. But basically, like, the end tag has a slash. Right. But the metadata is like the data about data. That's literally what metadata means. It's really random. But so in the top of your document, you have like extra words that kind of define your web page, and those go on the top. So you heard of search engine optimization? Like words for search engine optimization would go in the metadata. like what this web page is about, the author, things like that. So that would, the description of the page, that would go in the metadata. Don't need to completely know this right now, we're completely beginners, but everyone always asks me what's at the top of the page, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so do we have our web pages open? I don't think we do. The header, the HTML tag, you need the HTML opening and closing tag for your document, right? Then you have the header tags, opening and closing. Everything in these header tags is not going to show up on your document. This is just metadata, title, author information, things like that. People at Braintree, they're going to put like who updated this at what time and day, because like you might have like 7 developers working on one thing, so you want to know who did what and what was where, and they'll put that in the title there. The body, everything that's going to show up on your web page goes in this body right here, right? So if you want it to show on the page, you need to make sure it's in between the body tags. All right, so starting the HTML document, we are there. This is what it looks like. Any questions so far?
What did you say about that second line? I missed that statement. Something about the HTML, you don't put that, something won't happen.
So the HTML, everything just needs to be in the HTML or else the page is not going to know it's HTML. It's like basically saying the language you're writing it in. So like, it's like basically saying the language you're writing in. Say if you're writing that essay, it's basically telling the paper, this paper is about to be English. Like this is the language I'm writing in. Okay, so basically the first part of this class, we're just going to learn HTML tags. And you know HTML tags? You know HTML. Mostly. But so going along with the essay, one of the most important parts of the essay is the paragraph. So we have the P tag. The HTML P tag defines a paragraph. So here's an example. This is a paragraph, this is another paragraph. So basically, when you put words in between the P tags, and then you start a new P tag, you know, it'll basically start a new paragraph. Else, the words are going to go on and kind of run into each other. So that's just an example. I'm going to do a few slides and then we're going to code, okay? Creating a heading. The main headings that you use in HTML are H1, H2, and H3. Just like an essay, you have the main upper level heading, which is H1. You have the next heading, which is H2, and the subheading, which is H3. So they're going to be different sizes. H1 is going to be the biggest. So H1, H2, H3, you just put the stuff in between the tags. And you see over here, this is the H1 heading, the most important heading. This is the H2 heading, and this is the H3 heading. It's going to look like this. It's going to look like this on the website. It's going to look like this in your HTML. Creating blank space. So this interesting thing will happen when you start writing out your code, and everyone's weirded out by this. Like, you'll keep typing, and you think because you put a line on the next line in your code, that on the website it will go to the next line. That's not the case. Like, it's not that, it just keeps going, even if you put a break in the code. If you want to have a break in the line, you have to put the BR in. So, for example, right here in my paragraph, I have this line. And see, this line keeps going, but I put a BR right here. So since I put a BR right here, it breaks on the website. So I'm going to stop right there, and then we're going to go in and we're going to make 3 different.
Paragraph is under this text, for instance, this text, but it still shows up the same.
So there's the list with bullets or the list with numbers in front, right? So you know when you have a paper and you're making a list. So our next thing we're going to do is make a grocery list, but after. So the UL just lets the editor know that you're going to start an unordered list. That's what UL stands for. LI stands for list item. So you need to write an LI and then the closing tag after each list item. You were trying to do a list item right there, but just change your list to this format. So LI is the list item tag and UL is the unordered list tag. Here's the preview. So this is how it will look in the HTML. And remember, you can follow along in your slides, but this is how it will look in the HTML. I did an H3 heading, UL to let it know that I was starting the list tag. I did LI for each list item, and UL closing tag. So it will come up showing like this. And you were asking about formatting. This is the best practice formatting. So the upper level tags are all the way to the end, and as you go down, each tag goes indents one.
So is there a difference between an unformatted list and a formatted list?
So it's an ordered list and unordered list. So the unordered list means like bullets or symbols or something like that in the front. The ordered list will have numbers. So you can do OL instead of UL, and if you do OL, it'll do numbers. So it'll automatically make numbers in front of the list item.
You have LI in front of the list item and it'll give you numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can try both if you want.
What if you want squares instead of bullet points?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Right, now I got it.
No, you can definitely do that. That would be a CSS thing, which we haven't got to yet, but we'll get to it. So I should write questions. So this is the format for links. AHREF equals, these are really important here. Everybody always forgets these. Quotation marks. Inside of the quotation marks, you're going to put the URL. You're going to put the text for that URL, like what you want to call that link, and then you're going to put an A closing tag. All right? So my example I have is, I have A, which lets the website know that it is a hyperlink. href equals HTTP. You don't have to put the HTTP. You have to just put the www.google.com, and you have to have the quotation marks around it. Now, mind you, all this stuff here is still in the brackets, right? What's outside the brackets is what shows up on the screen. So in between the brackets, you're going to put, here's a link to Google. And then you have to have that closing tag. So it knows that these words are supposed to be a link, okay? And these words are going to go to the link that you put into the quotation marks. You need to have all those parts. So you're going to put a link to maybe your favorite website. My favorite website is this. Here's how it will look in the code. So you have the link like this, and it will show up just like, here's a link to Google, and it'll show up basically blue. That's the default color. All right? So we can go ahead and put a link. I have input type text, name equals first name, placeholder, first name, BR. So I'll go through what these are. So when you have the input types or the forms, you need to let them know what kind of input type they are. And right now we're doing input type text. We need to give each input type a name or a placeholder, right? So the name is first name right here. The placeholder, first name, this is what's going to show up in like gray in the form. So it's kind of grayed out. You don't have to put the placeholder, but it's just helpful to know like where it goes. And we have the last name. Input type text, last name, placeholder, last name, form. So I'll go to the preview so this makes sense. And you can probably see better on your notes. But notice up here how we have the first name, and then there's a break, and there's the form, the square form, and you have the first name in gray, and the last name. Don't start typing yet. We're gonna go to another input type. But you see how it looks. Alright, so then we're gonna do radio button. That's the next one. So radio button is kind of similar to how we did the unordered list. So you need to put, no, this is not, I'm sorry, I'm lying. Input type radio, so it knows we're doing the radio button. When you do radio buttons, you can only choose one, right? So you have, we're gonna call this gender. So the input type is radio, the name of this type is gender, the value or check is male. You don't have to put value check, but check. But the value for this one is male. And then we're gonna put a break, and afterwards, this is what's gonna show up on the screen. All of this does not show up on the screen. Just this part, the male shows up on the screen. And next to the male, because we have all this, there's gonna be like a radio button. And I did the same for female and male, and I'll go to preview. So that's how it looks over there, male and female. Okay, so we're gonna do first name, last name on the form, and then we're gonna do male and female. And then list the option values, and right here, this is what's gonna show up on the screen. What's in between the option brackets, okay? So you need to put option value for each option value, and we can preview what that would look like. So you'll have a drop-down list right here that you can click on, and it'll say Bob, Volvo, Saab, blah, blah, things like that, okay? And this is what it will look like in the code. So you can make a drop-down list. If you want to do cars, like your favorite type of cars. If you're doing the employment list, you can do like, we have a free introduction to HTML mini course here. So it's really simple. And also starting October 31st, we're having an 8-week HTML and CSS boot camp. So with other women, there'll be like, there'll be other women in the class. I'll have like a couple videos a week for you to go through, and office hours once a week. This is all online, so you can kind of do it at your own pace, but you'll get support from me to work through this course. So you can take this free class to see how you like this, and if you're really interested, you can go on to this boot camp. Just so you know, like boot camps like this usually cost like a couple $1,000s. If you came to this course and you liked it, and you emailed me and you want to enroll, you can get $200 off this